Hello everybody, it's Melanie Benson-Strick here, and I'm trying out Facebook Live. Recently, my friend Mari Smith was kind enough to give us a little demo and share some insights about Facebook Live, and I'm like, God, what a great tool. So here I am. I'm going to be doing these once a week for a while now, and I thought today I would kind of bring up a subject that came up with a client last week around prioritization. And if you're a thought leader or a visionary, creative entrepreneur like many of us are, isn't one of the biggest challenges prioritizing when your plate is so full and you've got so many things you want to say yes to? It's pretty common, and it actually came up with a client the other day. And so I want to share a little resource, but first of all, I want to hear from you. Like, what's one of the big things that's a question for you right now about taking your business to the next level and being able to expand your impact and your influence as a leader in your industry? Like, what's on your mind? What's holding you back? What's the big challenge? I'll be covering these ideas, these questions in this weekly Facebook Live session. So, oh, hey, Craig, I see you just jumped on. Nice to see your face, my friend. All right, well, I just came off a really, really busy cycle, a lot of travel, put it on an event for the Association of Transformational Leaders with my team there and the other leaders in that group. I was traveling, I had to go to a wedding, and so there's been a lot on my plate lately, and I know prioritization was really coming up for me and my team. So when my client asked me, Melanie, how do we prioritize better? I've got this person who is really great at what she does, but sometimes feel like I have to remind her over and over and over again to get things done. And so I was kind of digging into this issue with her about how come her team member isn't able to get things done when she needed and wanted them to be. And so I went through, all right, is the skill level there? Is the passion there? Yes, yes. But she still can't get things done. And so we realized what was really going on is the prioritization issue. I don't know which of the million things I'm supposed to do to actually focus on. So what do you do for yourself, or if you've got someone on your team who needs help prioritizing? Here's a little technique that I learned, and I'd love to hear if you have another technique. Go ahead and shout it out on the comments here. You think of it in terms of tiers. What is the single most important thing that we always focus on first? Then, what comes next and what comes next? So here's a way this might look. If your values as a business owner and entrepreneur are, we always take care of the customers we have first, like customer service is the most important thing, then whatever's on the plate always is what do we have to do to take care of our clients first. Then the second tier might be, all right, so what do we do to go create new business? That might be your second tier. The third tier might be, what do we need to do to actually move projects and goals forward? So you can see there's a way to start prioritizing in your mind really quickly. So one of the things I was sharing with my client was that you can actually teach your team members to think like you would about prioritization, because sometimes they get so overwhelmed, and maybe you do too, with everything you need to get done, that you can't think straight. You can't actually even figure out what needs to get done. And you get paralyzed, or you end up chasing, ideas and tasks and activities that don't make any sense, or you're surfing Facebook, right, or Twitter, or whatever. But what you want to do is start thinking strategically. What are the most important things that we do? What is the thing that will move us forward the fastest? What's going to move the needle? So is it about serving clients, making more money, forwarding a goal or an initiative? That's what you want to put your attention on, and then teach your team members to think like you do. So of course you can give me a shout out here on the comments and say, all right, what do we do to prioritize? Or I'm hopeless, I don't know how to prioritize, right? Just let me know where you're at. So interestingly enough, there's a lot of conversations lately that are showing up in my own community, highly successful people who have a lot on their plate. And one of the biggest things is prioritization. Like, all right, I've got all these things I want to say yes to. How do I get them all done? So it doesn't matter if you're just starting out in business or you're further along in your success track. If you don't have a good prioritization technique, you're going to swim. You're going to feel like you're drowning in priorities and conflicting opportunities. So first of all, let's take a step back. How do you know what to say yes to? So this is a big one. knowing what should get your yes and what should get your no, right? Does this ever happen to you? Do you ever find that you kind of get caught up in, all right, I don't know what to say yes to and what I should not say yes to because I don't want to miss out on anything, right? Well, you need to get really clear what is important to you. What is the thing that you want the most? Whether you're at the top of your game or you're just getting started, your time is one of the most valuable assets that you have. So this could pertain to speaking opportunities, whether you do a telesummit, whether you're going to say yes to an interview on a podcast or some type of event, what's going to get your time that day, which goals you say yes to. It can even like factor into what clients that you work with or don't work with, or if you're going to partner with somebody and co-create a program, or are you going to actually build this or go after that goal that you want? It's always about what should get your yes and what should get a no. So here's how I do it, and I'd love to hear if it's different for you or if you like this formula and you're going to use it. First and foremost, I have to know what is the single most important thing in my life right now. Is it about making money? Is it about a goal? Is it about having time? Which for me, my time freedom is the single most important thing. And then connection, and then having fun. That's how I prioritize. Is it going to help me make more money and make a greater impact? Is it going to further the goals that we already have? Yes? Great. Let's go to the next thing. Is it really connected with me and the best of me? Is it going to help me feel connected to my gift and my genius? And is it going to help me feel more connected to the people that I love to feel connected to? Like, or am I going to feel disconnected and de-energized and deflated by this? And is it going to be fun? Am I really going to have the joy that I want to have in this if I say yes to this? So it's a really simple formula, and this is one of the things that we have to kind of build the muscle up and strengthen if we want to manage our priorities better and be able to have time for all the things that we like to do. So that's just a little insight around this idea of priority management. Remember, it always comes down to boundaries. You can say this is what's important to you, but if you're not actively managing your boundaries and you're not strong enough in your what gets your yes and what's going to get a no, it'll be really, really hard to have time for what's truly important and to really stay connected to your priorities. And I see this all the time because, of course, when you are in the upswing and your business is growing and your message is getting really popular and you're becoming a thought leader in your industry, everybody wants a piece of you, right? There's never going to be any shortage of opportunities. And my influencer clients, the people who are moving and grooving, people in my Awaken Leader Mastermind, this happens all the time, right? They're constantly getting a bombardment of requests for opportunities, places to play, people that want to be coached by them, new ideas, new opportunities. You have to check in with your boundaries and be willing to say no more than you say yes. But when you say yes fully. Be fully in. And if you notice there's this little piece of you that's like, I don't know, should I really do that? Is that really what I want to do? Or you're doing it from a place of, all right, well, I should say yes. It's the right thing to do to say yes, but you know you really don't want to do it. That's not the right reason to say yes. The right reason to say yes is when you are actively engaged in a full body yes, right? It feels expanding. It feels like it's going to help you accomplish your goals. It's going to connect you more deeply to the things that are important to you. It's going to help you further your mission, right? Not just because it's the right thing to do. It's not the right thing to do if it's not a full body yes. It's just one of the little techniques to help you deepen your connection to your intuition and start training your mind to, not just do things because they're right or because that's what you should do. Do the things that are going to actually further your goals, your mission, that are going to help you make more money, that are going to actually help you develop a clear path to your goals and dreams. I see we got a lot more people jumping on. Hey guys, nice to connect with you here. If you want to give a little shout out in the comments, go right ahead. And I'd love to hear, what is your priority technique? How do you help yourself? And if you have a team or you have people working with you, how do you help them prioritize? And if you missed the beginning, I was sharing that I had a client asking me about priority management. She has 3 businesses that she runs. And so managing her priorities is really one of the biggest challenges she has because there's always more to do than she has time for. Can you relate to that one, right? There's never any shortage of things to say yes to. but there is a shortage of time. Some of us have a shortage of energy, and sometimes there's even a shortage of resources, people and money. So what gets your yes? It's really important to be clear how to manage your time wisely and get the things done that you need to get done. So you can kind of go back and listen to the video again if you want, and I'll hit the high notes. You got to be clear what your priorities are and have a way of actually connecting to what really is the most and best use of my time. I see a question coming in. Hey, Craig, I'll jump in on that in a second. And then the next piece is be willing to teach your team how to think like you do about priorities, so they're always using their time wisely. And then the third thing is develop better boundaries about what should get your yes and what should get your no. Okay, so, oh yes, Craig, of course. He's saying I should be better at this given my training, but I'm best under time pressure. It must get done. You know what? A lot of people are. And so what that usually tells us is that either there's a little bit of procrastination energy, or there might be actually just so much to get done that you have to get under the gun to really prioritize something. So there might be some things to play with there if you're a time pressure person. You got to look at where does adrenaline factor in for you? And do you need adrenaline to actually be able to get the oomph you need to focus on a project? And why? Is it because it's not really something you enjoy? That happens for a lot of us. Like, we leave things to the last minute hoping we're going to get a little kick of adrenaline to conquer it. But is it because we have too much on our plate? Or is it because, there's a part of us that is just wired for adrenaline? And I'm kind of curious if anybody else notices that they're wired for adrenaline. It's actually really popular in entrepreneurship. I need an adrenaline rush to get this done because you've got so much on your plate and you're burning the candle at both ends. So thanks for bringing that one up. I know a lot of people do that, and it's actually, as I said, it's really, really common. So you're not alone with that one. The question is, you have to ask yourself, is it serving me? Is it serving me to be driven by adrenaline and have that time pressure? And if you're not having a side effect, like the quality of your work product doesn't suffer and it doesn't affect your relationships and your ability to use your time wisely, then you don't need to change it. But it might be. Hey, Kay Ken, thanks so much. I appreciate the shout out and about the advice and insight. Hope you keep tuning in. We're going to be tackling some of the biggest challenges for entrepreneurs who are really emerging as leaders in their industry. I'm going to be doing this every Thursday. I don't know what time yet. We're going to work that part out. But figured I'd jump in today and just start sharing some great tips and resources. Now, if you want more of this, head on over to melaniebensonstrick.com. Every week I do a more in-depth interview or tip there on the podcast, Power Up Podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners. And I've got a great resource for you. If you notice you have a hard time with, and maybe you procrastinate a lot or you get paralyzed, there might be some mindset stuff going on. So you can head over to rewiredforwealth.com. That's rewiredforwealth.com. I have a free downloadable book for you there that will help you with powering up from the inside out, really getting the mindset to really up-leveling your mindset so that your mindset is driving your behaviors and habits in a more productive and effective way. All right, so we're going to say goodbye for today. Thanks so much for jumping in and joining. If you loved this and you don't mind sharing it, I would be so grateful. We're going to really have fun with this for a few weeks here and play around with Facebook Live, and look forward to connecting with you more over the next few weeks, and look forward to hearing your insights and ahas in the comments below, and I'll be sure to respond and connect with you here. Bye, everybody.